Stan Gibilisco here, proprietor and operator of amateur radio station W1, GV, Whiskey 1 Good Vibrations. A viewer recently sent me a comment in my video. I believe it was the one about generators. It had to do with ham radio and was not relevant to the topic at hand. But I answered his question, what bands are you on these days? He said, excellent video, what bands are you on these days? I answered his question and posted it anyway. But at least that's what happened in the comments note, the notification that I got when I logged in to YouTube. But that comment and my reply never appeared in the video, even though by all indications it should have. I always check for when I'm allowing comments, I always check for accept all comments except possibly inappropriate content. And then I always put newest first. Well, I did those things with this comment. I allowed it, and even though I don't think it even asked me whether I should allow it or not. It didn't ask me to review it. It just, as far as I could tell, let it in, but it never appeared. YouTube just has this way of knowing itself better than it does, and seeming to know me better than I do. The only problem is, they're sometimes wrong. And in this case, they were. So I will answer your question, my friend. My favorite bands, the bands that I operate on nowadays, I don't get on the air very much. But with that 20-meter vertical, I get on the 30, 20, 17, 15, 12, 10, and sometimes even 6-meter bands, always on CW. That would be 10 megahertz, 14 megahertz, 18 megahertz, 21 megahertz, 24 megahertz, 28 megahertz, and sometimes even 50 megahertz CW using 10 watts output. And that is the answer to that question, and I think this video will probably appear. I'm not going to allow comments on this video because the question was asked, and here is your answer. And thank you very much for your response. And I'm sorry that YouTube seemed to know you and me better than we know ourselves. And even better, I guess, than it knows itself. And especially too bad that it had to be wrong. But that's YouTube for you. And that's ham radio for you. Those are my favorite bands and modes at the moment. Stan Gibilisco, signing off, saying 73 and so long, which, as I'm sure you have surmised by now, always translates in my native fist to da-da-da-da-da-da.